of Bulawayo is Zimbabwe's second largest city with a population of 655,675, according to the 2012 census results. The city is considered Zimbabwe's industrial hub and serves as a link to the rest of Southern Africa through rail, road, and air, with over 100,000 households. According to the City of Bulawayo Water and Wastewater Master Plan, developed in 2012, the original water and wastewater infrastructure of Bulawayo was well planned and constructed. The water and wastewater infrastructure has, however, deteriorated over the years and is in dire need of rehabilitation and upgrading.
The SAST Catchment rehabilitation entailed upgrading of the sewer system, which meant to replace the sewer diameter pipes with bigger diameter pipes. Over the years, the population of Bulawayo has increased. So this means the load in the sewer system also has increased. So to cater for that, there is need for upgrading of the sewer lines from a smaller diameter to bigger diameter pipes.
The Water and Wastewater Master Plan, which provides the City of Bulawayo with a basis for planning, sourcing funding, and implementing renewal, remedial upgrade, and other interventions aimed at improving the provision of potable water and wastewater conveyance and treatment, proposed strategies at 3 levels.
The SAST Catchment refurbishment project is funded by the Africa Development Bank and is looking at improving the sewerage flows from the Kamisach catchment area. It's part of the schemes on sewer rehabilitation, covering almost about 27 kilometers on overall, concentrating mainly on outfall sewers and sewer hotspots. Hotspots meaning areas where there's frequent blockages, mainly due to inadequate outfall sewers that have been upgraded, and also poor alignments that will actually be rectified during the project. The project will increase effluent into the southern areas treatment works, which is actually the catchment treatment works for the SAST catchment. And that's the treatment works that also is under rehabilitation, that at the end of the program, the effluent that will be coming from the catchment and from the treatment works that are currently being upgraded will be able to meet the EMA regulations for discharge into the river system, of which that discharge goes into Kami Dam, where the city is proposing to recycle water for the benefit of the communities.
The master plan includes planning for rehabilitation, renewal and upgrading of water and wastewater infrastructure, including associated operational and maintenance requirements, as well as institutional aspects linked to the cost of recovery.
This project was identified as part of the master plan that the city prepared way back in 2010, 2012 and commissioned in 2013, of which these were the medium-term projects that were required to actually reduce environmental pollution and also increase the amount of water that we're able to recycle for the purposes, either direct recycling for purpose of for potable consumption, and also alternative recycling for secondary use by the industry and other users. And that is actually part of the study that the project will undertake to see the extent of that potential of water reuse.
During the design stage and after commencement of the contract's works, Bulawayo City Council, the consultant and the contractor conducted thorough survey works to identify all problematic sections of the existing sewer system for immediate and proper actions. Some of the identified problematic aspects included 1. Damaged and spilling manholes, 2. Spilling manholes, 3. Manholes without covers, 4. Collapsed sewer pipes, 5. Spilling house connections, 6. Above all, vandalism of sewer infrastructure for gardening purposes.
And also, the scope of work for the SAST rehabilitation entailed replacing the collapsed sewer pipes with new ones. It means there won't be any flow where there's a collapsed sewer pipe. So to cater for that, we replace totally, we remove the old pipe and put a new one. And then also we had spilling manholes in the SAST Catchment. So some of them, they are stubborn, or we can say problematic sewers. We replace, we dechock today, and then tomorrow is the same thing again. So a permanent solution to that, we had to do jetting and winching for such, and this entailed like in putting like pressurized water in the system to remove the stubborn blockages. There will be sand infiltration, so the cemented sand in the system will be removed by that pressurized water through the jetting.
The jetting basically entailed the flushing the pipes, because the pipes were encrusted with sand and the other materials inside. We used a special equipment called the jet vac with approximately 25 bars of pressure, and this pressure was adequate enough basically to flush out all the sand. Approximately 15 kilometers was jetted. The scope of works, I think, has been already elaborated by Faith, but the actual physical works entailed cleaning of manholes and the sand traps, and then we actually cleaned about 102 manholes and a couple of sand traps in all the project areas. The upgrading of the sewer lines basically was the major scope of works under this contract. We had about 4 outfalls.
Then the winching part is when we introduce a bucket into the sewer line to scrape off the hardened material in the sewer line so that it can easily be removed. So that's the jetting and winching part. Also, the project had to raise manholes. We see that when it rains, there's sand infiltration into the system. We don't need sand in the system because it's the one that's accumulating over the years and cement, and it will cause blockages. So by raising the manholes, it means we are catering for the sand infiltration part. So at least the manholes were raised by 150 millimeters above the ground, so that there won't be any sand infiltration into the system.
This was actually the major focal point of the works, because we had about 4 outfall sewer lines that were upgraded. The line number 1 basically was an upgrade from 225 to 300 millimeter diameter, and it covered a distance of 280 meters. And the outfall number 2 was also a 225 and then upgraded to 300 millimeter diameter, and this covered slightly a longer distance of about 1.3 kilometers. Then we had the outfall number 3, which was a very critical outfall in the sense that the outfall 1, 2, and 4 were all actually going into this outfall. And then on the outfall number 4 itself was also the longest, because it covered part of Nketa and the rest of Nkulumane. And then this outfall gave us a bit of a challenge in the sense that we had some levels that were not compatible to facilitate, gravitational flow. And also we found out that at a certain section of outfall number 4, we had actually a completely undersized diameter of pipe, which is 160 millimeter diameter, which was about 44 meters. So the upgrade now, we had to start with 300 millimeter diameter, then it upgraded to 355 millimeter, and then it upgraded again to 400 millimeter where we had the 160, and then upgraded it to 525 downstream towards the outfall number 3. And this basically was the major scope of work on the outfalls.
Six kilometers of outfalls covering around 12 suburbs, which are mainly Phumula East, Phumula South, Phumula Old, Chabalala, Emganwini, Nkulumane, Nketa, Sizinda, and others.
Vandalism basically had been going on for a long time, because upon asking the residents, basically we would find that they would tell us that the hotspots, or the so-called spillages, and the man was being surcharged, in some places took more than 10 years. So what we can say about this vandalism is necessitated basically, or caused by the people that had their own gardens, near the sewer lines. As we found out that most of the sewer lines were running parallel to the waterways, and then if the stream is dry or whatever, people would just block a manhole in order to gain access to the water to water their gardens. And this was a major source of actually the hotspots. And then the other issue was that on this, the vandalism type was based basically on cracking the concrete that was protecting the sewer lines. So this was very, very strange to us, in the sense that we didn't expect people basically to go to that extent of damaging the encasement to the pipe.
Despite all these efforts by BCC and the government, we have observed and realized that some of the residents are not appreciating the efforts, because we would see that after replacing the manhole leads, the day after you'd find the leads are already vandalized in an effort to get water from the manholes. Some of them, they use sets with sand and they put them in the manholes to block, and then after that they do furrows to their gardens. So mainly it's the gardens and the communities where they need the water to do gardening. And also we have seen some wheat farms, banana plantations, and these people are using the sewer water. So vandalism by the residents is really a great challenge in the sewer system.
I think the other issue that I can raise is that on the challenges that we faced during the project, accessibility to the sites. Before the project, in most cases, all the sites that we did the works, they were impassable. You couldn't actually access, because the contractor was using heavy equipment, and these areas were swampy, waterlogged with sewers that had actually, occurred over a long period of time. So accessibility was a bit of a challenge. And these were the major challenges that we came across. The other challenge actually was the intermittent supply of water. If water comes possibly once in a week, and the system is designed to flow by gravity, So if there is no water, hard particles or hard solids will settle in the pipe. And then over a period of time, these will consolidate. And then consolidation basically will result into blockages. And this has been the source of all these problems that has occurred actually under this project. And then the other challenge basically is the lack of suitable tools by the operators, because all what they have is draining rods, And if, for example, someone has punctured a sewer pipe, a draining rod will not do anything. All what they need to do to have basically is suitable tools in order to unblock and also to remedy that blockage. And this we've actually emphasized on several occasions, so that the operators should, as an issue is raised, they should have a quick response to the problem, and then it can actually mitigate the spillages.
The sewer was smelling and the pipes were bursting. We were thinking that the carrying capacity was an issue. Since there was no water, we are not yet sure of what is going on currently. But the bad smells have subsided and you can hardly smell the sewer anymore. Like I've alluded, you cannot think for the next person. Education is required so that the people appreciate that what has been rehabilitated is for them. Awareness is needed so the community appreciates the work done here. The problem we had was the bad smell. Even if you're sitting at home, you could smell it. The other things that used to happen is the manhole would burst and there would be blockages from time to time. Well, changes have taken place. Even right now, standing here, you are no longer affected by the sewer smell. This shows that the council is doing a good job. Then the other thing, the blockages are no longer happening like before. It looks like the new system is working well. Without a doubt, I can see the changes. So far so good. Before the project started, some residents used to cultivate along the sewer line. What the council can do is educate or tell the residents not to plow next to the new sewer line, or the council finds residents land somewhere suitable for them to plow, or the residents can just plow as far away as possible from the sewer. I would like to thank the City Council of Bulawayo for the good work they've done, because the improvement done here is amazing. May they continue going forward with the project, and may they please implement the same project in the other areas that have not yet fixed the sewage system.
We have quite a number of projects that are going on. A major one being what we call the deep section in Source Town. That has been on progress for quite a number of years. It has just gone into disputes, but we hope that program, when it is done and completed, it will actually reduce pollution into the Mkuza River and the Mkuza Catchment. We also have what we call hotspots within the residential areas. We have attended to areas like in Luveve, Makandeni, Ntumbane, Machobana, just dealing with areas where our sewer systems had collapsed. And these are ongoing projects that we are implementing across the city. And maybe just to also emphasize that within the designs, we've actually come up with lockable manholes. In other words, the manhole now will be lockable in that no one is able to open it, to minimize the vandalism of those outfall sewers. Other programs are also the rehabilitation of the sewage treatment works in the SLB catchment, where SLB 1 and 2 are currently under refurbishment, and at the end of the program, whatever will be discharging into the SLB 1 and 2 will actually be treated to meet the EMA regulations. The BC project amounted to almost 34 million US dollars. It had various components that we're looking at: water supply improvement, where we're actually rehabilitating our water infrastructure at Ngwema and Fenil, to improve on the delivery, that is the pumping of water from the dams to the city. We have also done the rehabilitation of the treatment works, major treatment works at Criterion Waterworks, to improve on capacity and quality of the water that will be coming out of that. Further, we're actually doing replacement of water lines within the residential areas. I'm sure you will have seen Pumula, Luveve, just to mention the two. And within that program, we replacing almost about 18,000 non-functional meters, so as to improve our billing within the city. Other soft projects are looking at our infrastructure in terms of ICT, to improve on our ICT, linking our accounting software, our GIS, and also our call center, with the hope that when all these programs are done, we'll be able to efficiently service the community of Bulawayo. And these are programs actually contained in our master plan, albeit not taking everything that is in the master plan. It's almost about $1 billion worth of master plan. Like I'm saying, this investment is just 34 million at this stage.
Following the rehabilitation and upgrading of the above, this project will lead to reduced pollution from the sewer system and achieve the project objective of ensuring safe disposal of sewage and improve the efficiency of water and sanitation physical assets. The City of Bulawayo continues in its quest of being a leading, smart, transformative city by 2024.